What is up, everybody? What is up? It is me, Angel, your typical Browns fan and the Typical Browns Fan podcast. Tonight, we are going to talk about a lot of stuff. So I'm going to try to fit it in for you. Please, before I get into it, please like, subscribe, follow, comment below where you're listening from. Do everything you need to do on the socials to push this live out there. Let people know that we're going to be talking about a couple of things. We're going to talk about what one thing Shador Sanders needs to improve before the end of the season. We're going to talk about, can we fix Jerry Jeudy? Because you know Jerry Jeudy has some issues. And we're going to talk about two bright spots on offense that we can look forward to next year. But before we get into all that, first I want to say this live is brought to you by Lego Heads Barber Saloon. Lego Heads Barber Saloon is located in Berea, Ohio. Go there, give Marlon a shout out. Let him know that we sent you here at the Typical Browns Fan. And while you're there, listen, it's cold outside. And those with beards, you know you need to take care and maintain your beard to the utmost. The way I do that is extra sauce. There you go. Extra sauce. You can go there and get this beard oil. He has beard balm. He has all this stuff, wonderful stuff for your beard that you can get. And while you're there, you can get a nice little beard trim, a haircut right before the holidays so you can look nice and crisp for your family so they can be like, dang, dude, you look good. They can give you compliments and then you can make fun of them because you look better than them. That's what I plan on doing this year. Marlon's going to hook me up. I got to set an appointment with him here in a couple of days and get fresh. Right now, I look a little rough around the edges, and he'll make my edges look nice. Trust me. So go there, let him know that Typical Browns Fan sent you. Also, I'm on vacation, baby. Christmas vacation all week. I'm on vacation today. This week was the longest week ever for me, and it's always the last couple of days before vacation that feels like 20 years. How many people feel like that? That right when you're about to hit that vacation, that week of vacation or the last couple of days feel like 2 years. I got lucky today, though. Usually the last day before you go on vacation, you get a lot of drama, a lot of crap going on. Not me. Man, it was easy sailing today. Thankfully, I was able to get home and then clock out for good until the 29th of this month. I'm off for a week. I'm excited. I'm excited to do some content for this page and for the Bearded Browns podcast page. If you don't know, follow them too. It's the Bearded Browns podcast. We go live there every Tuesday. Let me know right now, where are you watching from? Where are you listening from in the comments below? We're going to get into it. But before we get into these three topics, we got to get into Browns news. I don't know if you guys know this, but Kevin announced today the decision to activate Deshaun Watson will happen by next week. What's up? Oh, Marvin listening from Arkansas. Nice. Love it. Thanks for tuning in. Kevin announced the decision to activate Deshaun Watson will happen next week. And by the way, if they don't activate him by next Tuesday, they have to put him on the PUP list. So he kind of has to. But can you imagine with me for a second what Andrew Berry might do or might look like if they activate Deshaun Watson and they have Shador Sanders and Deshaun Watson for the last 2 weeks? I have a picture in my mind, and I found it, and I want to show you what Andrew Berry is going to look like if Deshaun Watson is activated. I know those that are on the podcast, you can't see this, but go to my YouTube page and you'll see it. Boom. See Andrew Berry? He's holding Deshaun Watson. This is a Toy Story where he's holding Buzz Lightyear and Woody. Deshaun Watson, Andrew Berry's going to be like, which one do I want to play? Which one do I play? Do I give the $1 million man his opportunity, or do I give the young rookie who I drafted the opportunity? It's going to be tough sledding for my guy, Andrew Berry, here in the next couple of weeks, even to next year. He's going to have to decide, or Kevin or whoever the coach is going to have to decide who's going to start for the Cleveland Browns. Who? And it's going to be exciting to see all off season. Stay tuned to the Land Media Group podcast. We're going to have tons more podcasts following the Browns and the Bearded Browns podcast specifically too. We're going to talk about all that all summer long. It's going to be great. Bad news, injury report. Right now, Kamara, questionable. Teller, actually, he's kind of upgraded. He's questionable. He was out last week. Conklin, out. Njoku, out. Reed, out. Sampson, out. Ward, out. Watson, out. A lot of outs. There's a lot of outs going on. Right now is that type of season, man, that it's just tough to play if you're hurt. You just have no motivation. You have nothing at all, right? Crazy. So let's get into the head-to-head matchup this week. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're going against the Buffalo Bills, who are fighting for that number one spot. I do believe fighting for the division against those New England Patriots. Josh Allen. We're going up against Josh Allen, who ranks first in the NFL with 424 scrambling yards this season. The Bills are 9-3 against rookie quarterbacks since 2019, allowing an average of just 13 points per game against them. Marvin on YouTube says we need an offensive line. That and other things we're going to get into. So stay tuned. I would like your input on a couple of things if you stay tuned. We do need an offensive line. We do need a couple more things outside of that, but we'll get into that. But the Bills are holding, since 2019, holding rookie quarterbacks to 13 points per game. Buffalo forces an average of 2 takeaways per game. 2 takeaways per game against rookie quarterbacks. And we know Sanders right now has 6 interceptions. He has 1 fumble loss against the Baltimore. He almost had 1 loss last week, but they didn't call. They got lucky and they called him down when he wasn't down. But you got to be careful. Nick Bosa leads the league with strip sacks. He's got to protect that ball, man. Sanders got to protect that ball. We're going to get a little bit into Sanders here soon, so stay tuned. But one of many things Sanders has to do, he's got to protect that ball. And here's the thing that worries me. The last 2, 3, 4 weeks, actually all year, but specifically the last 3, 4 weeks, the special teams sucks, right? We have a kicker. He's good. He's pretty solid. Smitty, he's good. He's good. But it's a punt and kick return team. So Buffalo has an edge outside of just the quarterback and the offense and the whole dynamic. I would say just outside of defense, they're not as good as us. But Brandon Davis leads the NFL with 6 kick returns at least 40 yards or more. He ranks 3rd in total kick return yards since week 9 with 745 yards. Guys, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen Sunday. I think the floodgates are going to open on the special teams, and we might just see 1 or 2 punt returns or kick returns ran to the house. I really think this might be the signs of like Bubba Patron really stamping his suckiness on this team. And they're not going to fire him. They seem to write out the coaches to the end of the year. They're loyal to them like that. It's weird, but hey, whatever. Couple things to watch during the game. If you're not a Browns fan, you don't know this, then you're not a Browns fan, right? Myles Garrett needs 2 sacks to be the all-time sack record and get 2 sacks. TJ Watt is 22.5. He needs 2 more and he'll break it. Also, Fannin needs 1 more reception to be the rookie single season Browns rookie single season reception leader, who right now he is tied with Kevin Johnson with 66. 1 more, he'll get 67. Hey, 67. Sorry, I have kids. So yeah, Miles needs two sacks to get the all-time single season sack record. He wants 25. He can get there. I'm a little worried that if he doesn't get some this week, Aaron Rodgers is really hard to tackle. He just is. He gets the ball out quick. He's a smart quarterback. So us going against Pittsburgh is kind of iffy. He definitely will get a couple against Cincinnati because Miles eats the Bengals. But I would like to see him set it at home against Josh Allen just to get it out of the way. Just get it out of the way. And the rest is just it just adds to the lore. Adds to the fact that Myles Garrett will get more. On to the media takes. Mary Kay Cabot. Mary Kay Cabot reported yesterday, that said that Kevin deserves a chance to win. Kevin deserves a chance to coach this football team when he has a quarterback that he can win consistently with. What do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about Mary Kay Cabot saying these exact words that I've been kind of saying the last couple weeks about Mr. Kevin? He said Kevin deserves a chance to coach this football team when he has a quarterback that he can win with consistently. And that's what I've been saying, folks. A lot of people want to say get rid of Kevin. A lot of people say he's done. But my issue is this: Kevin hasn't had a quarterback consistent enough to win with. Outside of Baker and Deshaun, who are first first round, first pick quarterbacks, right? First round quarterbacks. He's had nothing but backups. I mean, why are we criticizing this guy really hard because he's working with backups and now rookies this year? We put so much anticipation on Joe Flacco's return. We thought he was going to throw 200, 300 yards a game. Didn't do that. He had a couple of good games in Cincinnati, but he ended up going 1-4 there. So he probably would have done the same thing here if it continues, right? Insane to sit there and place all the blame on Kevin and his inability to coach a team who is shorted on talent on offense, just like my guy here on YouTube said. He said, we need an offensive line. We need receivers. Marvin's telling me on YouTube, hey, man, we need offensive line and we need receivers. You can't coach this talent. I don't care what coach is on here. I told you guys last week, only 2 or 3 coaches can maybe coach this team to be winnable with this talent on offense. And yet we're not holding Andrew Berry accountable at all because he had 1 solid draft out of 6 years. Yet we're placing all the blame on Kevin because he can't win with a rookie quarterback who we're going to get into has some questionable numbers as a rookie. Go figure. Yes, a lot of people put the Dylan Gabriel. I'll pick on him. Man, you ain't got an argument there. That was a weird one. We're getting to his numbers too. We're going to get into the rookie the rookie quarterbacks that have started so far at least 3 games. We're going to get into those numbers, some deep numbers I want to get into you today. If you follow me on socials, Typical Browns Fan, you know I'm into next-gen stats, PFF scores. I'm into the deeper stuff, not just the fluff that you see on the stat lines, but I want to go a little deeper because I think the deepness tells the true story of the individual play. That's why I think Kevin should come back 1 more year. I agree with Mary Kay Cabot. Give him time with Shador to develop an offseason plan for him. There's one thing specifically I would like for them to work on with Shador. We're going to get into that in a second. Let Kevin and his team work with them, then see how they do next year. And if he doesn't work out, guess what? Then maybe you can let him go. But there's really nobody out there as far as coaching, the coaching carousel that I'm thinking of other than Kubiak in Seattle. That's the only one I'm thinking of. A lot of people are trying to do retreads like who's that San Francisco he used to be the defense coordinator, Saleh. All these like retreads, like I don't know if I want a smart offensive guy. That's what I want. I don't want a defensive guy. I think our defense is good. I want someone to come in here and work on Shador Sanders because I love Shador. I think he could be great on this team, just like my dude Marvin in the chat's been saying. Put talent around him, give him an offensive line, and fix a couple of things and see what happens. Speaking of coaches that people want, there's a report by Joanna Anderson that dropped yesterday. It's kind of comical to me that Bill Belichick is filling fillers out there to see where he can land. Josana said, I understand Belichick has upper level personal still fond of him in Atlanta, New York, Cleveland. while all struggling teams going through the customary things that they go through. I I don't understand this in general. I don't understand why people think this would be a good thing. I would never understand why people would want Bill Belichick to come back. Anybody that age should not be coaching. Let me show you proof to let me show you proof to in the Raiders game, right? The Raiders team and Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is not doing well and he's old. I want a young guy, right? I don't need Bill Belichick. I don't need John Gruden. Don't give me any of those guys. Give me if you're going to replace somebody with Kevin with somebody, give me someone younger. Don't give me an old guy that has a retread that has to come in and prove himself and is outdated. But that's my take on the two stories that dropped yesterday. Together, by the way. Like you had Anderson drop the story about Bill Belichick, and then all of a sudden Mary Kay Cabot comes up with this story about how she feels like Kevin deserves another chance, one more year. Weird to me, right? Nonetheless, that is it. That is your intro, your media takes for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Who you would like to see as the coach for the Cleveland Browns if it isn't Kevin next year? James says, "I'm over Kevin, but at this point, give him give him more time with Sanders. We don't have nothing to lose. New coach means new quarterback plus a plethora of other losses we would take. Build around Shador is exactly. I feel that, James. I that's how I feel. I feel like people are saying keep AB, but then you run into the obstacle of AB finding a specific coach that you have to be specific with. Like, we want you to come here and coach our team, but you have to develop this quarterback. And it's hard to get somebody who's up and coming, who's going to be more desirable for other teams, who's going to give him more authority, such as, hey, if we got a high pick, you pick your quarterback. That's all I'm saying. Now, AB might have somebody in mind. They might have a little backdoor deal where they're working it out and saying, "Hey, I'm cool with Shador. I see some talent in here. There's some things we can work on. I'm good." Maybe he's doing his own work, but I think it would be hard. And then you go into the power structure or dynamic, right? Which it's been questionable from the beginning with the Haslam's um, after man, I always forget the GM, John Dorsey. Ever since John Dorsey left, because he had the power to hire Freddie Kitchens, right? Ever since then, they're like, we're not giving one guy power anymore because Freddie Kitchen was just a horrible mistake. Freddie Kitchen gave the Haslam PTSD. Horrible. If you're not too in tune with what was going on with Freddie Kitchens, I guess he had a lot of issues in the closet that he was dealing with, and it came out, and that's why he was let go right after the season. Marv says, "Don't need 4 quarterbacks on the team anymore." I agree. We don't need we don't need that 4 quarterback competition. That was probably the most wasted summer of my life as a Browns fan. I went to a training camp and I watched it, and it was just so dysfunctional as a Browns fan, trying to see them working quarterbacks to get reps. I think they come back with Shador. I think they come back with, for sure, Deshaun, Sanders, and Dylan. Those are going to be your 3. You just, if they don't draft the quarterback high, if they don't get the number 1 pick, they're going to keep those 3. I personally think even if you get the number 1 pick, you trade back, get some more assets next year to get more talent to build around. If it's not Sanders, then you find a guy, but you have the talent there. What's up, Coleman? What's up? What's up? Thanks for YouTube for, the comments, man. YouTube's blowing up. Appreciate you guys. So let's get into this. Let's get into the reason why. The reason why I feel that there's some things that Shador Sanders is currently doing. James said trade Dylan to. I don't know if anybody's going to want. I don't know if you can be able to trade Dylan Gabriel because he was just that bad. Just that bad. And by the way, Bill Belichick record without Tom Brady as a starting quarterback, he's 47-57. With the Patriots, he was 83-101 without. Oh, he was 47-57 with the Patriots without Tom Brady, but overall in his career, he was 83-101. 83 wins and 101 losses without Tom Brady. And so you can't convince me that he's going to be here. And what he's doing in North Carolina with his girlfriend is just another layer of, can you imagine him, his girlfriend, and the Shador Watson media circus that would be happening here next year? I'm good. I'll pass on that. But you need to bring in the coach. We're gonna get into the topics right now, the 3 topics. First one is what is one thing Shador Sanders needs to fix this offseason? And I'm gonna tell you right now. Right now, we're gonna get into it. If the Browns are gonna go into 2022 with a plan, 2026 with a plan for a new coach, the coach specifically needs to work on Shador Sanders' ability to get rid of the ball a lot quicker. A lot quicker. We're 4 games into this Shador Sanders era, and he's having the same issues every week, and that's getting rid of the ball. And if you watch me on the Bearded Browns podcast every Tuesday at 7:30, and you watch the last 4 weeks, I've been pounding the pavement for this because I think a quicker release will improve him tremendously. I also think a quicker release helps work in Kevin's system better. In 4 games. So why is getting the ball out important? A lot of people have always asked, a lot of people have been asking, like, why are you harping on this topic? Why are you dying on this hill? And you're like, is it really worth it to you to continue to bring up the topic of him getting the ball out quick? Yes. And let me show you why. Right here is a chart of the quarterbacks that were drafted this year that have more than 4 stars. You have Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, and Tyler Show. And as you can see, that Cam Ward and Jackson Dart is not a 9. Dang it. It is a 2. So Shador Sanders, 3.33 seconds time to throw. That's how long he has in the pocket he takes to throw the ball. Dylan Gabriel, 2.73. And if you know me, if you've been on this podcast, if you listened to me before, in the comments below, what is the average quarterback time to get rid of the ball? If you don't know, I'll tell you in a second. If you do know, put it in the comments and I'll shout you out. Cam Ward, 2.94 seconds. Jackson Dart, 2.88 seconds. And Tyler Show, 2.79 seconds. All the rookie quarterbacks, other than Shador Sanders, are getting the ball out under 3 seconds. And since no one has answered, that means no one knows the answer. The average time in the NFL to get the ball out and to be a average to successful, average to somewhat good to average quarterback is 2.75. If you can get the ball out within 2.5 to 2.7, you're an elite quarterback, according to Next Gen Stats. Now, let's go down this train here of stats that I put together for you. I compiled this yesterday in my van, waiting for a call to work on some batteries. I said, let me dig a little deeper, because this is, if you follow me, this is the stuff I'm into. If you don't like numbers and math, then you shouldn't be following this. A Coleman, a running game will help too. I 100% agree. Listen, outside, I'm not saying. Let me backpedal. I'm not saying Shador Sanders, and I get a lot of heat for this. I'm not saying Shador Sanders is the only issue on offense. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying because Shador Sanders sucks, the issue is him. No, there's a lot of contributing parts to why this offense sucks. This is one of them. And Ian, I'm going to get to your comments about the offensive lineman and why that matters. Shador Sanders, 3.3 seconds time to throw. His rating, 68.1. His completion rating, 68.1. These other stats I put in there because I just was interested in it, but we're not going to get into it. Offensive line ranking. Right now, the Browns actually they went down. They're at 32. They're ranked 32. Dylan Gabriel, 2.73 quarterback rating, 80.86 completion percentage. Actually, Shador Sanders' completion percentage is 55, not 68. So you got completion percentage of 64 for Dylan. Same with the offensive line. They were ranked 30 to, I think the highest they've ever had was 28 at one point, but they're bad. Offensive line's bad. We can agree with that. Cam Ward, 2.94 seconds. His rating, quarterback rating is 76.5, which is good. By the way, the quarterback rating 68 is below average for Shador. Completion percentage is 63. And he has the 24th best, 24th ranked offensive line. Jackson Dart, he's probably the better of the quarterbacks, by the way. Jackson Dart is. Okay. Cam Ward, Jackson Dart gets the ball in 2.88 seconds. His rating is high. He's really impressive over there. And I was talking to Mike this couple hours ago about Jackson Dart, and I said he's doing this with Neighbors down, and next year they'll probably draft him another receiver. So New York's gonna be pretty dangerous in a couple of years. Jackson Dart seems to be the prize pick right now. That was a good pick by the Giants. But he look, he's having this success. Why? Because his offensive line is ranked number 9 on PFF. Now, this is where I want to get into the nitty gritty when it comes to people saying the offensive line sucks. Tyler Show, same talent across the board. Same talent across the board with the Browns. It's matching. It's identical as far as where the team is, receivers, offensive line, as you can see, is ranked 25th. They're not far off. But Tyler Show, he's getting the ball out in 2.79 seconds. His quarterback rating is an 85. His quarterback rating has an 85, completion percentage of a 67. So Tyler Show is outplaying Shador Sanders. The reason why is because the quicker release. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Angel, the offensive line stinks. That's why he's holding on to the ball. My counter to that, Coleman, is this. Tyler wasn't taking starting reps. No, he was not taking. So here we go. We're going to talk about the starting reps. Outside of Dylan Gabriel, no rookie was taking starting reps. What the Browns did was unusual for anything in the NFL typically. They gave Dylan starting reps all year. That's why when Dylan came out and he was pissing the bed, I was ringing the alarm after game 2 or 3 because I said, this guy is not it. He's done. There's no way this guy is an NFL quarterback. None of these guys on this list outside of Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward, obviously, were getting number 1 reps until they started. And that's the common thing in NFL. You can ask any NFLer that's a quarterback. They said backups don't get number 1 reps. They don't. So the argument of any rookie quarterback getting number 1 reps outside of Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward because he was starting is mute. Tyler Show came in, getting the ball out quicker with the same type of offense, and he looks a lot better, not because I think he's better than Shador, but because I think he's processing a lot quicker, so he's getting the ball out. So let me go back to the offensive line point. A lot of you guys are saying, well, Angel, the offensive line sucks. We agree. But also, the time to throw is not always on the offensive line. The faster you get the ball at your hands, the lower the pressure rate will go. So there is a misconception amongst people who look at the pressure rate in which he is receiving pressure or blitz rate and assume, well, he's getting pressure. That means the offensive line sucks. But what we have to take account is that the quarterback can also be pressured when he holds the ball during a big play. Also, when he's holding the ball because he's not anticipating the throw. He said it himself. I don't trust my receivers yet. So because he's holding on to the ball because he doesn't trust his receivers yet, that counts as time in the pocket in which he's holding the ball. He's failing to identify the hot read or the blitz. He said it himself this week. I'm not looking for the check down. He said it a couple of times, actually. He said, I talked to Jameis Winston. He said, hey, numbers are great, but wins are better. Shador's in his head. He's thinking, hey, I need to hit Bond for this big play instead of taking the check down. The play, specifically against the Chicago Bears, it was 3rd and 10. There were 2 receivers open for a first down. He didn't see, and there was a check down wide open. Q was open for a first, for just a normal check down. He probably would have got 5-6 yards, but instead of doing that, he ran 10 yards back and lost 10 yards. And it caused the advantage to be against for the Bears for as far as the yards being flipped. So you're at the 30 or you're at the 20, now you're at the 10, and now the punter's kicking at the goal line as opposed to punting at the 10, getting the ball down further. He is not getting the ball out quicker, not just because the offensive line stinks. The offensive line had a really good game against the Chicago Bears. Look at the scores. Look at the rating. They pass blocked the best they pass blocked outside of the Tennessee game. Shador still held the ball for 3.5 seconds that game. He's just not getting the ball out quick enough. So what I'm saying is that if you're going to give me a coach, give me a coach that can identify ways to fix this with Shador. Because outside of that, this dude's amazing. We've seen it. When he's hot, he hits that long ball. It's beautiful. It's effortless. I felt like when Dylan was throwing the ball long, he was trying to force that ball. With Shador, it doesn't look forced. It's like, I think Cooper called Flacco's ball beautiful poetry. That's how I feel about it. Marvin says the receivers need to be open. We'll talk about that in a second. See, I already prepared because I knew everyone was going to say offensive line and wide receiver separation, right? Right. So we'll talk about that. So when we think about pressure rate or blitz or whatever, or him getting plummeted, most of the time, it's not just the offensive line. It's him. He's holding on to the ball too long. He's averaging 3.35 time to throw, 3.35 seconds, and it's the longest hold in the NFL. It's just that it's not all the offensive line. I know we want to blame the offensive line, and that's fine. My issue is when you look at the stats and you look at everything and you start to pick out, hey, he needs to work on this. A lot of Shador fans get like offended. It's like, no, like he's not the perfect specimen right now. Like we thought he was, right? Most of us thought maybe he can be something special. He is, he can be. But he has some things that he still needs to work on. And that's okay to admit. Like we can sit around the circle, still root for Shador, and still say, you know what, there's a couple of things I need him to work on. I need him to get rid of that ball a little quicker. And I need him occasionally to hit the check down. I just need him to do it. Okay. But elite quarterbacks reduce pressure by throwing with anticipation, trusting his receivers, trusting timing routes, taking the check down, and knowing when the play is dead. And that is where I'm going to end this topic here, because I feel a lot of people say, well, it's the offensive line. I agree. If it's the offensive line, then why is he still holding on to the ball and not getting rid of it? Why? Why is he holding on to the ball when the offensive line's coming in? He still looking downfield to get that big play in. That's what I'm saying. This is the thing he needs to work on. Know when the play's there and know when the play isn't. He's improved, by the way, dramatically. He's no longer running backwards like he did in Colorado. He's stepping up in the pocket a lot more than I thought. That's something he's improved on his game. Stepping up in the pocket. He's not taking big sacks outside of that Chicago game. And obviously the Ravens, people so talk about that. Like he's coming off the freaking bench cold. Like, let's not bring that game up. I don't even think about that game when it comes to his stats at all. But this is just one thing I want him to work on. I'm not trying to hate. I'm not trying to sit there and be like, Shador's a bum because of this. I'm saying I'm a fan, and I think he should work on this to get better next year, because I think if they do things right by him and they build through the draft offensively, he's just going to get better. He just is. Next topic. Speaking of receivers, right? Speaking of talent, how do we fix Jerry Jeudy, guys? How in the world do we fix Jerry Jeudy? I don't understand what's going on with this guy. He was complaining that he's open, and when he's open, he doesn't catch it, or it goes through his hands, the defenders catch it. I don't understand. Like, we have this thought. Well, I do understand. I understand what's going on with Jerry Jeudy. I'm just speaking in hypotheticals. A lot of people are like, what's going on with Jerry Jeudy? He's just Jerry Jeudy is just Jerry Jeudy. He's always been this Jerry Jeudy. Havana said, sign Josh Gordon. He'll light it up. Man, Josh Gordon, the Josh Gordon years was amazing, right? Like, I wish he would have stayed sober, because that dude would have been Hall of Fame bound for sure. For sure. Brad Money says Shador gets first round pick critiques after he was punished and bumped to the 5th round. They denied him reps with the first team. Brad Money. Every rookie quarterback gets denied first team reps until they start. Why are we not understanding that? Outside of what they did with Dylan Gabriel, if he would have went to another team that had a starter, he would have not had first team reps, because the starter gets all the reps. It's every quarterback that's played in the NFL said this. I'm not saying this. I'm just repeating what every Josh McCown, Chase Daniels, everyone has said this. And for some reason, all the people that love Shador are not hearing this aspect of the argument. He got first team reps when he was a starter. Was that stupid? Yes. I agree. It's a stupid way that the NFL teams do it, 100%. And also, we can see why he got first team reps last, because there are things he still needs to work on. Now, where the Browns made a mistake was overvaluing Dylan Gabriel, obviously. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. I did say Dylan was a supercomputer because that's what they told me. I saw a little bit of it in college. They lied to me. But as soon 2 games into it, I said, this computer is not computing, Dylan Coleman. That's what I said. I was quick to change after 2 games. I said, I'm ready for Shador. So bring the facts, Coleman. Bring the facts. Shout you out. I appreciate you, Coleman. Thanks for commenting on YouTube. Appreciate you, sir. Either way, back to what the topic at hand, Jerry Jeudy. So a lot of people are surprised that Jerry Jeudy sucks, but here you go. Since 2020, he was drafted. He has a 17.6 drop rate, the highest percentage of any receiver with at least 100 targets that season. As a rookie, people say, hey, he's a rookie. Give him a break. In 2021, it dropped to 5%. 2022 went back up to 8.1%. In 2023, which was the year before he was traded, it dropped to 6.8%. And then 2024, the year in which he had 1,000 yards, the year that he was here last year, he had a 9% drop rate. That was his highest since his rookie year. He led the league with 13 drops. We completely ignored it. Other than on the Bearded Browns, we brought it up. On the Bearded Browns podcast, we said, I'm still a little concerned about his drop rate. But because he had a high output, a lot of people kind of ignored that. Because he had I think he had close to 90 receptions for 1,000 yards or something like that. But this year, it's worse. He has a drop rate percentage of 22.2 when on target passes go his way. It's bad, man. It is bad with Jerry Jeudy. So how do we fix Jerry Jeudy? Well, you can't fix Jerry Jeudy. What you can do is cover him up, right? You have to cover up Jerry Jeudy. You got to put a Band-Aid on Jerry Jeudy. How do you do that? You have to limit his reps. And how do you do that, folks? How do you limit your number one receiver's reps? Who's number one right now? You draft another number one to make him number two, probably number three at some point. The Browns need to draft a receiver, a number one, a dog, a guy that can catch whatever is around his area. They need to slowly get away from Jerry Jeudy. Sign Gary Coleman. Corey Coleman. No. Yeah, Corey, man. That Coleman guy. He was Baylor, speed, but no hands. And that's the typical Browns pick, right? Like they even Schwartz was the speed and no hands. Like Browns organization, no matter who the GM was, has always been enamored by speed, but they ignore the fact that they can't catch. They're like, well, if they get him, maybe he'll catch it. Just let him run. I agree, Taurus. He said he should be number three. I would say at least 2.5 to 3. Like I would say put him in a slot, but he might drop the ball in the slot. So I think we slowly need to get away. I think you draft Tate. You get Tate, match him up with Tate, or I'll be okay with Tate or Tyson. You draft an offensive lineman in the first round. You go right back into the second round, draft the best offensive lineman as possible, and then draft another receiver. You get 2 receivers, 2 offensive linemen with your first 4 picks. You do exactly what you did in the draft this year, but with offense. You just have to. And this is why, for me, it's important for the Browns to develop Shedeur the Shedeur needs to work on certain things these next 3-4 games, because I don't want them to be tempted to think they need another quarterback. So my criticism of Shedeur Sanders comes out of love, because I love Shedeur. I love his faith. I love how he represents himself. I love the fact that his dad believes in him. I love the fact that he has a team that believes in him. And I love the fact that he believes in himself. That's something we have not had around here in Cleveland as a leader or as a quarterback in a long time. He is a perfect example in which all these kids should look up to. And I want him to be around for a very, very long time. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you parents out there, but we all don't have favorite kids, right? But you have a kid that's good at something, so you're a little harder on them to get them to be a little better. I want Shedeur to take care of this. I want Shedeur to take care of the ball, throw the ball away if there's nothing there. Don't force anything. Take the check down and just learn to play the game as a game manager for the next year or two so he can be done and solidify himself as a starter in this league with my favorite team. My favorite team, the Cleveland Browns. Okay? So let's move on from that, because we're going to go Jerry Jeudy. And even though Jerry Jeudy sucks, there's still 2 bright spots. This is the last topic of the night. There's 2 bright spots on this offense that we can talk about. First, we'll go with Fannin. Fannin Jr. Fannin Jr., my gosh, is a awesome talent. Is he not? 3rd round pick. Chad said the original 3rd round pick is we got Dylan in 3rd round, unfortunately. Dylan, Fannin has the opportunity to break a record that hasn't been broken since 2000. 2000. Yeah, be 26 years. Oh no, 2000. 20 something year record of rookie receptions set by Kevin Johnson. Um 67, 66 receptions he is tied with. Um 67 is the record. Right now he has 66 and he probably will break it against Buffalo. But this kid is nothing but special. Right now he's sitting at 66 receptions, 99 targets with 667 yards. He's averaging 10 yards per catch. He has 4 touchdowns. Week 12, in week 12 against the yeah, I'm just reading. Yeah, he's wow, he's good. Week 14, 8 receptions against the Titans on 11 targets for 114 yards and 1 touchdown. That was his breakout game. Week 15 against the Bears, 7 receptions on 14 targets. Like, that's a lot of targets, guys. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. I think part of Shador's issue right now is that he's looking at Fannin a little too much. And Chicago figured that out. Chicago figured out if you spy on Fannin, you'll get a couple interceptions, right? And that's what happened. They spied him. They kept a guy on him. They played a little off him. And when Shador went to him, they were able to get 2 picks that were intended for Fannin. 14 times. Sanders target Fannin 14 times compared to just 17 total targets spread across the other 6 receivers against Chicago. So 14 times just him, 17 times for the rest of the receivers. That's a 45% of his passes going to one player. Almost half of his passes were going to. Do you see why the Bears were ready for a couple of those passes? Insane. You see, the Bears keyed in on this, and Sanders never adjusted, and that's never adjusted. That's something as a rookie you have to understand that if you see coverage on the guy that's number 1 receiver, he's not there, throw it out. I don't think Judy's the number 1 receiver. That's why I said cover him up, because now it's Harold Fannin stepping in. I think Harold obviously is stepping in to be the number 1 receiver as a tight end, and it's amazing to see that we drafted this kid in the 3rd round, and he's clearly lighting it up. Yards after contact, 310 yards after contact from his reception. So he catches the ball, and he's got out of 600, how much total yards does he have? I said, he has 329 yak yards. That's 3rd amongst the NFL rookies and 5th among all tight ends. He's averaging 5.3 yards after the catch per reception. Insane. 310 yards after reception. That is, he's breaking tackles. He has 310 yards after contact from receptions from breaking tackles. 6 broken tackles on receptions, tied for 3rd amongst the NFL. Insane. I can't even, I didn't even, it's hard to even put into words. I'm kind of like dumbfounded, but him coming here in the 3rd round from Bowling Green, I thought he was going to have some struggles early. But I feel outside of there's some drop issues he has. I didn't get to look into his drops. I should have, but he does have some drops. I think he has been nothing but stellar for this team. I think he's going to be the rookie of the year for this team. Actually, you know what? Carson might be. I lied. No, I keep on forgetting about Carson Schlesinger. He's going to be a close. He's going to get close. At least the offense, he'll get the offense rookie of the year on this team. But yeah, he's good. The second guy I want to talk about is Bond. A couple weeks ago on the Bearded Browns podcast, I said, start looking out for Isaiah Bond Jr. because I feel like him and Sanders are connecting well with that deep ball. 52-yard completion to Sanders, and Sanders' first start versus the Raiders, 52 yards. He had another 42 and a 47 versus the Bears in week 15 last week. So last week against the Bears, 18 targets, 9 receptions, and 137 yards was credited to Bonds and Fannin. That's insane. That's 90% of your offense. 14 targets, 7 receptions for Fannin on 48 yards, 2 receptions for 89 yards for Bond. He had 4 targets. That is encouraging to see. That's encouraging to see that you have a guy who is an undrafted free agent making an impact on your offense this early. And then you have a third round pick who's a tight end making impact on offense this early. Now, if you fix the offensive line like we were talking about earlier, you can add Junkins to that mix because he had a good first half, but now he's averaging like 2.3 yards per carry because people are just stacking the box. They say we're going to have to stop the run because these receivers either can't catch or get separation. Speaking of separation, we talked about that. Got one more thing for you. So you got Harold, the receivers that could account for separation stats on PFF. Harold, Fannin, Tillman, Njoku, Bond, and Judy. Okay, those are receivers that had enough snaps this year that you can account. We're going to talk about separation percentage. A lot of people are saying the Browns receivers aren't getting any separation. You said that in the comments. I said I'm going to get back to that. Me being a preparer that I am, I knew this was going to come up, so let me talk to you about it. Did you know that Harold Fannin is ranked number 9 right now as far as separation percentage? You're not surprised by that, right? We shouldn't be surprised by that because he gets so many passes and he catches them all. But he has 408 snaps. The separation opportunity, meaning the opportunities he had to get separation, is at 127. And snaps with separation is at 60. So that is a separation percentage of 58.25%. So 58% of the time he's getting separation. As a rookie, he's the best person on your team getting separation. So that just adds to the lore of Harold Fanning, right? Do you want to know who's top? We have 2 in the top 10. And this surprised me. Trust me, it surprised me. Number 10 on the list is Tillman. Cedric Tillman has a 57% separation rate. Problem is, he's only had 252 snaps. He's not on the field. Mike brought this up last Saturday on the Browns Morning Brew that you can watch this Saturday at 10 a.m. He said that Tillman's had a great year. Just this concussion and these injuries has derailed it again. His separation has been stellar. When he was on the field, he was looking as he was trending to be maybe wide receiver 1 going into next year. But Tillman on 257 snaps and 98 separation opportunities, he has 56 snaps with separation, which gives him a 57% snap percentage, separation percentage. David Njoku, 289 snaps is at number 18. So we have 3 in the top 20 with separation. Problem is 2 of those guys are not not even on teams are. So we were getting receivers with separation. Problem is when Dylan was playing, not when Shador was playing. But David on 289 snaps, which let's talk about 289 snaps for David. His contract year, do you sign him? Are you going to sign him back? He's been hurt every year outside of the Joe Flacco year, I believe, which was his best year as a Brown. But 289 snaps, 60 separation opportunities was 60, and he got 32 snaps with separation. So he has a 53% separation. Bond right now, 294 snaps. 100 of those snaps, he had separation opportunity, and where he actually got separation was 42 of those. So he's at a 42%. He's got to get better at that. He's a speedster, man. Maybe they're doubling him. Maybe they're doing something to him. Maybe he needs to adjust at the line where they're bumping him. But he's a speedster. He's the deep guy he needs He needs to get better separation. And number one, last guy on the team that doesn't get separation is your number one receiver. He's labeled as wide receiver one, Jerry Jeudy. He's got the most snaps at 507. Separation opportunities, he has the most, 194. But he's got 77. Actually separated from coverage 77 times. So his percentage is at 39%. So less than 40% he is separating from his cornerback and getting space where he can be open. That is our problem. Right there. When you have your talent that stinks as much as you do, stinks as much as they do, when your GM has not drafted a receiver in 6 years, which is why I say you cannot put all this on Kevin. You just can't. That is why I say get an offensive draft where you draft offensive people, offensive linemen, give me some receivers, and let me see how Shador and Kevin look next year. Give me one more year with them. That's what I hope they do. But if not, guess what? I'm going to be here still talking about the team that I love because I'm not married to the individual. I'm married to the team. That's why I do what I do and create content for this team. So whoever's here, whoever's going to wear the jersey, I'm still going to support. Sanders is my quarterback. I support him. Kevin is my coach. I'm going to support him. Though they make me angry sometimes and frustrated. It's annoying. I know. But thank you guys for tuning in to the podcast tonight. Typical Browns fans podcast. I go live every Friday. Give me a like, follow, subscription below. Don't forget, we have other shows underneath the land media group. Tuesdays, 7:30. We're out live, all platforms for the Bearded Browns podcast. Browns Morning Brew Saturday, 10 a.m. And we have Here We Go Crunch. If you're into soccer and local, like indoor soccer, we do a Here We Go Crunch podcast where Ethan and his friend talk about the crunch whose season is starting. And I think next couple weeks here, they have a season home opener, which we'll be a part of as a media group. So tune into all of those. Give us a follow, a like, and subscription on all that platform. Also, lastly, this Tuesday, we have a special holiday show where we'll be going live at the Original Steak and Hoagies at West Park, Ohio. And we have a special gift for you for the Bearded Browns podcast. The Bearded Browns podcast has a special gift. So tune in 7:30 this Tuesday. Me and Mike and Chad will be going live. And most importantly, we'll be going live at a food spot. So we get to eat while we talk. It's going to be great. We'll see you Tuesday, 7:30, live all platforms. Until next time, keep barking, keep believing, and keep being that typical Browns fan that you are. Go Browns.